So the next question is, does a bhikkhu need to keep 227 sīla completely to be considered a holy or pure bhikkhu? A bhikkhu taught me that 4 parajika and 13 Sangha disesa must be kept by the bhikkhu. Other sīla, the bhikkhu needs to try his best to keep. Is that why we have uposatha, so that bhikkhus can renew their sīla? Thank you.
So you get the uposatha to renew the sīla. That's so funny. No way, no way. So the Buddha has explained that those who do not have pure sīla, pure ethics, they will go to hell. It's just that simple. And it's in the sub-commentaries then explain that this is for monks' rules as well. But it's obvious from the Buddha's talk about the sīla in the Anguttara Nikaya, I think, too. But anyway, the sub-commentaries makes it clear. Sāpattikassa bhikkhave dvinnang gatinang anyatara gatipatikangka niroyova tirachana yonivati. What does that mean? Sāpattikassa, sāpattikassa, to one who has committed an offense. Sa means has, apatti is an offense, ka makes the person. So the person who has an offense. Bhikkhave, monks. Dvinnang gatinang anyatara gatipatikangka. Dvinnang are 2, gatinang are destinations. Dvinnang gatinang anyatara gati. Anyatara gati, one of the 2 destinations. Patikanka follows. Nirayo, which is hell. Va, or tirachana yoni, that is the womb of an animal. So for any monk who dies with an offense, there are only 2 destinations, being born in hell or in the womb of an animal. You like it? Well, then there is no hell. Monks can never break even the smallest rule. There's no way. There is no way how a monk will break even the smallest rule. Have you ever heard of this very beautiful discourse to the king of Asura? Asuras are divine beings who were thrown away from the heaven for drinking alcohol, but then they resolved not to drink alcohol. That's why they're called Asura. A means not, Sura is alcohol, non-alcoholic, the teetotalers. So Asuras are divine beings who live at the foot of the great mountain Meru, of the mythological or legendary mountain Meru. And the Buddha asks this Asura, the king of Asuras, what are these beautiful things that he can see in this huge ocean that surrounds this huge mountain Meru? And the Buddha then provides a similar explanation on the community of monks. How the community of monks is like the ocean. And I would love to read for you the sutta. Let me see if I can find it right away. It's quite long, so I will have to. Yes, I got it. Paharada, that's the name of the asura. There are 8 amazing and astounding qualities of this Dhamma and Vinaya, because of which, as they see them again and again, the monks take great joy in this Dhamma and Vinaya. Dhamma is the Buddha's teachings, Vinaya is the monastic discipline. Which 8? 1. Just as the great ocean has a gradual shelf, a gradual slope, a gradual inclination with a sudden drop-off only after a long stretch, In the same way, Bharata, this Dhamma and Vinaya has a gradual training, a gradual performance, a gradual practice, with a penetration to gnosis, to enlightenment, only after a long stretch. The fact that this Dhamma and Vinaya has a gradual training, a gradual performance, a gradual practice with a penetration to gnosis only after a long stretch, this is the first amazing and astounding quality of this Dhamma and Vinaya, because of which, as they see it again and again, the monks take great joy in this Dhamma and Vinaya. And furthermore, that's the number 2, just as the great ocean is stable and does not overstep its tide line, in the same way, Bharata, my disciples do not, even for the sake of their lives, overstep the training roles I have formulated for them. Number 3, and furthermore, just as the great ocean does not tolerate a dead body, any dead body in the great ocean getting quickly washed to the shore and thrown up on dry land, in the same way, Bharata, if an individual is unprincipled, evil, unclean, and suspect in his undertakings, hidden in his actions, not a contemplative, though claiming to be one, not leading the holy life, though claiming to do so, inwardly rotten, oozing with desire, filthy by nature, the community has no affiliation with him. Having quickly gathered together, they suspend him from the community. Even though he may be sitting in the midst of the community of monks, he is far from the community and the community far from him. Number 4, and furthermore, just as whatever great rivers there are, such as the Ganges, the Yamuna, the Achiravati, the Sarabhu, the Mahi, on reaching the great ocean, give up their former names and are classed simply as great ocean. In the same way, Bharata, when members of the 4 castes, noble warriors, Brahmins, merchants, and workers, go forth from home to the homeless life in this Dhamma and Vinaya, declared by the Tathagata, they give up their former names and clans, and they're classed simply as contemplatives, sons of the Sakyans. Number 5, and furthermore, just as the rivers of the world pour into the great ocean and rains fall from the sky, but no swelling or diminishing in the great ocean for that reason can be discerned, in the same way, Bharata, although many monks are totally unbound into the property of unbinding with no fuel remaining, no swelling or diminishing in the property of unbinding, for that reason can be discerned. Well, this would need a footnote, but we can discuss that later. Number 6, and furthermore, just as the great ocean has a single taste, that of salt, in the same way, Bharata, this Dhamma and Vinaya has a single taste, that of release, of enlightenment. Number 7, and furthermore, just as the great ocean has these many treasures of various kinds, pearls, sapphires, lapis lazuli, shells, quartz, coral, silver, gold, rubies, and cat's eyes. In the same way, Bharata, this Dhamma and Vinaya has these many treasures of various kinds. The 4 establishings of mindfulness, the 4 right exertions, the 4 bases of power, the 5 faculties, the 5 strengths, the 7 factors of awakening, the noble eightfold path. Number 8, and furthermore, just as the great ocean is the abode of such mighty beings as these, whales, whale eaters, and whale eaters, asuras, nagas, and gandhabas, which means asuras I translated as the ugly gods, nagas, the dragons, gandhabas, they're the heavenly musicians, or better, treasure keepers. And there are in the great ocean beings 100 leagues long, 200, 300, 400, 500 leagues long. Be careful, a league is 10 kilometers. In the same way, Bharata, this Dhamma and Vinaya is the abode of such mighty beings as these, stream winners, and those practicing to realize the fruit of stream entry, once returners, and those practicing to realize the fruit of once returning, non-returners, and those practicing to realize the fruit of non-returning, arahants, and those practicing for arahantship. The fact that this Dhamma and Vinaya is the abode of such mighty beings as these, as I've just said, This is the eighth amazing and astounding quality of this Dhamma and Vinaya, because of which, as they see it again and again, the monks take great joy in this Dhamma and Vinaya. So I'll send you the link to the sutta so you can read it in full. I'm now supposed to teach somewhere else. So here's the link. And so as you can see, there's no way how monks would ever break a rule. Well, monks break rules, but that's a big problem, and it should never happen. Monks must follow all of the rules the absolutely strictest way they can. If a monk intentionally breaks a rule, there's no way for the monk to become enlightened. Only a monk who does not break a rule can become enlightened. Now imagine that you as lay people would support monks in breaking rules. Well, that equals hindering monks from attaining enlightenment. So when lay people, for example, give money to the hands of monks, they basically say, Venerable Sir, I do not wish that you become enlightened. Not basically, that's exactly it. So monks never break rules, and lay people never support monks in breaking rules. Rather the otherwise, because lay people want monks to become enlightened, because that's why they respect them, right? Because if no monks become enlightened and they don't even try to become enlightened, then what is so special about them in comparison to lay people, right? So monks are supposed to become monks and become enlightened. If they don't even try for that, if they even cannot become enlightened, if they even do things that hinder them from becoming enlightened, well then, what's the purpose of this monastic life, right? How would then the monk be nobler than a lay person? That's how you should think. That's not how I think, but that's how you should think. So we always support monks, and if we are monks, we support ourselves in 100% purity, never ever breaking even the smallest rule ever. And lay people need to encourage, to guide, to order monks so that they follow the rules. Lay people have a great power. Well, if lay people do not give any food to monks, monks have nothing to eat and they die, right? So the lay people are the basis of the monk's life. The lay people's faith, the lay people's generosity allows monks' existence. Well, that's quite a strong power, isn't it? And the only thing you need to do to destroy monks is to just not give, which is not a bad deed at all. So that's quite a strong power, right? If the king decides to kill bad people, then the king has the bad deed for killing those bad people. There is no other way how the king can kill the bad people. We are taking it from the Buddha's time, of course. Now, for you, it's totally different. You don't have to kill monks to get rid of monks. You just stop giving them and it's done. And that's exactly what the lay people in the Buddha's time did when monks were not following the rules. They just stopped giving. Then the monks found out, there's a problem. The monks found out that if they do not follow the rules, they will not have anything to eat. So it's maybe better to follow the rules so that at least they have something to eat, right? So you are entirely in power of making the monks follow their rules. Not only that you should not give money to monks who touch money, but you also should make any kind of attempts so that the monk actually follows the rules. Because if they follow the rules, they may become enlightened. Whether they become enlightened or not, that you cannot govern. But you can govern whether they can become enlightened. So that's entirely in your hands. And monks need to tell that again and again to lay people. Because thanks to monks, thanks to lay people, monks will follow the rules. When the lay people don't care, then the monks will not care as well. Such is the world. That's the way the world works. If lay people start to give monks money, and they're fine that monks have money, well, then monks will have money. That's the way it is. Only when lay people will always strictly reject giving monks any money into their hands, only then monks will not touch money. There's no other way. Well, when I talk to monks, of course, I talk in the other way. But when I talk to lay people, I try to show that indeed it depends on lay people. Of course, it depends on monks as well, because statistically, there will always be some lay people who will donate money to monks. And there will always be some monks who will always receive money from lay people. But we do as much as we can. So if none of you here ever gives money to any monk, and all of you always tell all your friends and all your families and everyone you know that monks should never be given money because that only hinders them from becoming enlightened, and that only supports them in gradually getting married and having kids, just like you do, well, then if you share this information and if you explain this thing and if you follow it, which is the most important point, well, then it's possible that others will be also inspired by you and they will also not give money to monks. And therefore, the monks can exist. Now look at Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, monks get salary for teaching in the university from the government. Students get money reimbursement from the government so that they're happier at the university. And also in Sri Lanka, if ladies go around the monastery, a monk goes out and he asks the lady, "Oh, would you like to come with me and and enjoy with me in the bed?" That's also in Sri Lanka. So this is what happens. As soon as money is okay, sensual pleasures are okay. That's what the Buddha himself said in the Manichulaka Sutta. No, in the Gamani Samyutta of Samyutta Nikaya. So the Buddha has clearly explained, as soon as monks are allowed to touch money, then there is nothing to stop them from enjoying sensual pleasures. And sensual pleasures, that means sexual pleasures, are not in accordance with the noble path. So this doesn't go together. And the lay people can decide, what kind of monks do you want to have? Think about it. What kind of monks do I want to have? They want to have monks who have kids and children, who have kids and wives and so on? Or do I want to have monks who are enlightened, who are wise, who are inspirational, who follow rules, who are patient, who are humble, who are satisfied with little? What kind of monks do I want? Each of you can decide. You're entirely in power of creating that community.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bhante.